Hello, welcome to today's episode of Talk and Roll with the Captain. Today we have out of San Antonio, Texas, a really cool metal band. I found you guys by accident on Instagram, like I've been finding everybody lately. But this is Mass of Amara. Tell us about yourselves.
Cool. Yeah. First of all, this project started kind of around 2021,
Mhm.
somewhere around there, and ever since we've just been kind of like trying to build the lineup, and we take a lot of inspiration from like various different artists. Like Bjork is a big one. For me, like Fit for an Autopsy, a lot of like the heavy stuff. So we just kind of try to combine all those elements into like our own stuff. Yeah.
So did you guys come together during the pandemic? Because a lot of the bands we've been interviewing, that's the case. So
Well, we have already known each other for a very long time, and then the pandemic hit, and everybody went through a lot of things and
Mhm.
life changes and all that stuff. I went through a major life change, and that's when I decided I wanted to learn how to scream and sing and all that stuff. And because of that, that's how we formed the band. So yeah.
Yeah.
so so were you in a band before Mass, or that just was your first band, or what's going
Yeah,
on?
this is my first band.
Your first
So
band, dang.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, definitely not my first. I've been through the ringer and dealt with, crazies and whatnot. But, as a lot of us can relate, like, we've dealt with people and, that's part of the hardest, that's probably one of the hardest things to deal with, as far as like trying to get a solid band together is, just finding the right
Yep.
people. And, at the time it was just me and her. And but now we have like a solid lineup and it's just been kind of kicking off, and it took a few years to get there, but we just stayed at it, and you know we're in a pretty good spot right now, so we're just trying to grind it out.
Yeah.
Nice. It's really cool when you can get people from your past, like you guys have known each other forever, to come and form a band. And you guys don't seem to have any problems, but you talked about lineup changes and finding the right people.
Mhm.
How many lineup changes have you gone through so far?
So far we've done nothing but just add.
Oh, okay.
So at first it was just me and Ella, and then we put together the Army of Me cover, and then the first EP, and then through doing that stuff, my one of my friends, his name is Victor. He plays guitar in the band as well. I've known him since he started working at the job that we both worked at together. And when we were putting together like the band, I was like, "Hey, bro, like we need another guitarist. Are you down to join up?" And he's like, "Hell yeah," because he moved from Seattle. So
Okay.
I was like, and then the second I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, this dude seems pretty dope. He's gonna be in my band." And so then after that, at the same place, our drummer, um, we were in the break room, and at the time he wasn't our drummer, but he was like, "Yeah, man," he's like, "I'm looking to do something new, so keep an ear out if you hear that somebody needs a drummer." And I'm like, "Well, we definitely need a drummer, so why don't you check out what we got going on and see see if you fit in." And he's been with us ever since. And then our most recent member, his name is Joseph, by the way. But our most recent member, Josh, I've known him for years, more than everybody else except Ella. But he hit us up one day and was like, "Hey, do y'all need a bass player?" And we're like, "Yeah, I guess." But he's like a solid guitar player. So we were just like,
You'll do guitars too.
yeah,
So
we
that's
did.
that's why we have three guitars.
Yeah, we did like two rehearsals where he was playing bass, and ever so often I'd look over, I'm like, man, like he shreds, Like it just feels better. I was like, let's just put him on guitar and see what's up. And it just works out so much better that way. So far that's where we're at. I
Okay.
don't know if we're gonna add any more members. I don't think so. I think right now is the core, but
So do you guys still work together outside?
no.
Oh, because that would be a pain in the ass if all of a sudden you guys all of a sudden like, oh, we're all out. Three of you take off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been like that, but no, I don't work there anymore. Joseph doesn't work anymore there. Victor still works there, but yeah, so that's where it all kind of stemmed from, really.
So can you tell us where you were working at, or is that something we got to keep like?
You know, honestly, I don't want to give them the light of day. I just,
Okay, okay, I get it.
just
I
to
get it.
be honest.
I 100% understand that.
But Victor and my friends who've come out of the place are solid people, and they deserve all the light and recognition. But yeah,
Nice, nice. So, when did you start playing? When did you decide you were going to get into music?
is this one for Ella? Or you?
Oh, both of you, both of you.
I'll have Ella go first.
Yeah, let Ella.
When did I first get into music?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I mean, I've always loved metal for like the longest time, but like actually like told myself like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do something to be part of a band. That's for sure gonna be like towards the end of 2020. So, and ever since then, when I made that decision, I've just been like learning something every single day because I'm like, okay, I'm 20, I'm in my 20s, you know, I want to catch up to everybody else. So I just kind of been like, try to learn, you know, try to learn like the most that I can every day. But I still think I'm like pretty new to all of this, but at the same time, there's like so much already going on. And when I say so much, you know, I say so much because, you know, this is very new to us, right?
yeah.
A new thing. It's a new thing for me. So the way that things are moving, it's just very exciting because, you know, when you put in that much work, you start to see little things here and there pop up and you're like, oh, and then I just get more and more excited to just like learn more. So I still consider myself a newbie and just want to learn more. But yeah, I mean, so I've been at it for like 4-ish years. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's cool. So do you have somebody that got you into music, like a certain band, certain singer?
Bjork for sure.
Okay,
Well, like I said, I've always like music has always been like a big part of my life, but like what really pushed me was Bjork and Lane Staley
okay.
from Alice in
Yeah,
Chains.
Allison Chains.
I
Yeah,
know they're like very different, but it's just the thing that I like about them is that they're artists that use a lot of emotion. Um, you know, there's like the like what I've noticed is just there's the technical singers and then there's the singers that use their emotions as
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah,
talent. Does that make any sense? So it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I understand.
I love the whole emotional, like, you know, Lane Staley and then Bjork, she's very like raw with everything. So just like being able to put that physically and to be able to have somebody feel that too, that same emotion. I mean, that's really what inspires me and what keeps inspiring me every day.
Well, I've been listening to the music, and you sent me the I don't know which one. Did you send me the version of your new song?
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent you Unspoken. Yeah.
Yes. Uh, I'm sitting there, I was listening because I have a comic book shop, so I can chill and do whatever I want whenever I want most of the time. But
Yeah.
literally, I'm starting listening to it, and I'm like, man, if you would have told me, you know, outside of the fact I know you did the cover of Army of Me, that, you know, York was one of your inspirations, I would have been like, oh, okay. But now that you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, okay. You like the passion and the rawness of it in your vocals and stuff. And I get that. I get that. But yeah, now I can see it because of that. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. And like I said, it's one of the ones where I'm literally at the shop, like working on the computer, heads bobbing. Man, I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Hell yeah.
That's my gauge on how much I like a song. If I'm sitting there and not paying attention, oh,
Right.
okay, okay.
It catches your attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah,
of, yeah.
definitely, definitely. It's a good song. It's very powerful, and it's got a lot of, you know, it's really I don't want to give too much away for people to go listen to it when you guys drop it, but it's like a sonic punch to the gut. You know,
Right.
you're like,
Yeah.
bam, oh yeah, that hit me. Yeah.
And I can say like when we play it live, like on stage, we can just feel like the impact, just like bringing it to life,
Yeah.
like bringing the song to life live. I can just feel it like personally, like just the punch of it, and it just feels so right.
So
And it
so how did you get into music?
so for me, man, I've been doing it for a long time, but it was like, man, dude, like when I was so young, my dad had the Binge and Purge Metallica box set. And one day I just like came out into the living room and he had that on just kind of in the background of whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
And like, of course, not knowing who they were at all at the time, but I'm just like on the screen, like just in awe of like how crazy this whole thing is. Just like the energy. What is this? Music? Like, what is this? Right? And, fast forward through many years, like I'm listening to Alice in Chains and Metallica, but like mostly Metallica. And at some point, I'm just like, Dad, I need to get a guitar. Like, I just need to. And this was like probably when I was like in sixth grade was when I got it. And ever since, I've just been like playing and trying to get better and like learn things. But then probably like towards the end of high school was when I was like, okay, it's time to start like writing my own stuff. Like my friends hit me up and were like, "Hey, we need a guitar player in a band." And I'm like, "Let's get it." Like I'm down. And so I spent probably those last few years of high school like really trying to like write my own stuff and kind of figure it out like what it is to even write your own stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And but ever since then it's just been a constant like I'm just wanting to like write my own stuff and get a band together. And then from that time to me, today there's been a lot of failed projects and, just stuff in between that's gone down where like it just doesn't work out. And that's fine, of
Oh
course.
yeah.
It's just everyone's path is different. But so I've learned so much in that time too. So that's really like the root of it. And then it's just kind of grown, ever
Yeah, yeah,
since.
yeah.
So
It's all just one big learning experience. If you're not learning from it, you might as well just give up. But
exactly.
I always ask this, but now is the perfect time because you just talked about it. What was the name of your first band?
My first band was Alpha Syndrome.
Alpha Syndrome? Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
some people were like, "Oh, dude, you must be like really big fans of the Gemini Syndrome." I'm like, "Never heard of them, bro,
Yeah.
honestly." Now I have, but
Yeah.
back then I didn't vote on the name, but when I came in, they were like, "All right, man, so the band's name is Alpha Syndrome." And like, that experience was what it was, but there's one song, my very first song I ever wrote is part of that band. So that one song will forever just kind of, I'll cherish that one song.
Oh yeah.
But
Those early bands when you're in high school, you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna rule the world, man. I got all this, and then
exactly, dude. I'm sitting here thinking like this is gonna be the band that's gonna like make it, make me, right? But like, because I remember like listening to like some podcast or whatever, and the band is like, very rarely is your very first band ever gonna work out. And in my mind, I'm like, not this band, but
you're
you're naive at that point, so fuck it.
you're not Lars Ulrich or
Exactly.
uh, Robert Plant. Your first band
Mhm.
isn't Metallica or Led Zeppelin. You just
Yep. Very rare. Very rare.
hey, it lasted better than mine. I joke around as my first band. Me and my one buddy were playing, writing music. We brought in other guys to play. First practice, we split up.
What? Dang.
I got mad and walked out. And I was like, I'm done. I'm taking my shit and going home. Bye.
Damn. Yeah,
But,
dude. I've
um,
definitely I do remember moments like that in like some of my last projects where like you show up and then something just goes down and in the back of your mind you're like, "Oh, that's the line like right there."
yep,
Like
that's
it's
the
it's
point. You're
time to dip out.
Your patience is just a lot smaller at that moment just because you're very new and you don't realize how much work it takes to,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
Oh
be a
yeah.
band.
Even now like,
Yeah.
I sometimes, I'm thinking like we're working really hard and then sometimes you just hear somebody else's story and you're like, "Fuck, I'm not working hard at all." Like,
Mhm.
like
Or just
sometimes
not enough.
or
Like you
not
feel like
enough.
you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that's what's crazy about doing this show. We've had these bands who been playing forever. They've gone through all these different incarnations of their group and stuff like that, and they're just now starting to really tour and stuff like that. Then you have this one band that was like, oh yeah, 2 years, and they're opening for Doyle from the Misfits.
Mhm.
I'm like, 2 years, man, 2 years. That's it. It's like,
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Some of these bands are very fortunate, but like I said earlier, like everyone's journey is different.
mhm.
The more you're able to just let go of like the race, right? Like just go at your own pace. You're on your own journey. Just accept it and just try to have fun like through it all. And as long as you're working to do better or just bring yourself up to the next level, only good things can happen. And so far, like we've had a lot of good people and so many great relationships be formed in 6 shows that we've played in
Yeah,
total.
and only
Like,
6 shows. I feel like a whole year has passed in just 3 months for me.
yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm just thinking about our first show was in December, and just
Jeez.
thinking of that, the fact that our first show was in December and so much has happened since then, so much good, like a
Right,
lot of good
right.
things happened since December. Um, and it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. I feel very grateful, and just
So,
mostly because of the people, because it's not just one person. It takes a lot of
Mhm.
people to make this happen. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean? So
definitely.
all the people that we've met that have been helping us and supporting us. That's the best part about it. So
It's finding those fans to support you and your family to support you, whether it be your biological family, your band family, or your
Right.
friend family to support you and get behind you and really show that passion and get it out there. But 6 shows, wow. So this is going to be the odd question because now I got to ask it because we do tour horror stories usually towards the end, but you've only got 6 shows. 6 shows in.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you got? You might have one because you've been around longer. But Ella, do you have any? You probably don't have any horror stories yet out of 6 shows.
um man, any like bad like oh my God moments, I guess. I only had like one that was like kind of annoying, but I wouldn't say it was like a nightmare. And
I
then
feel like I know what it is.
yeah, like I think it was like not this last show, but the show before. I didn't know that our set had to be cut short.
Mhm.
And so like I was ready to like start singing the next song, but everybody was already like getting things off. And I'm like, all right, never mind. Sorry, this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
We're done. We're massive. That was just such a like just because I like when I'm up there, I'm still, getting used to performing because that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. Like I had only performed in front of people like twice before that, before this band. So it's like I'm still like learning everything, and now I'm like, okay, look at the clock. Because there's a clock most of the time, right? Telling you the time or
Yep.
whatever. So I'm just like, I need to pay attention to that too, just in case for next time. But other than that, everything's been fine,
Yeah.
thankfully. So
That reminds me. Years ago, I got to see Dee Snider on his solo tour,
Mhm.
and he's legitimately. They're like, he's telling me I got 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. You know who I am? And I'm like,
That sounds like Billy from Green Day.
great.
He
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did the same
At
sort
the
of freak out on iHeartRadio or
yep.
something.
But this was because the venue we're at had a hard 11 o'clock curfew. Boom!
Damn.
It has to be done
Yeah.
at 11. And legit, he had like 2 more songs, and it's like 10:58.
Mhm.
And he's,
dang,
I'll
yeah,
pay the fine. He's singing, so it's,
yeah,
but
it happens. But yeah,
oh yeah. I mean, it's got to be hard to be in the moment, playing, getting into it, and all of a sudden you look up and you go, I've got time for half a song. Oh crap!
yeah, there's so many things that, oh man, like with every day that passes by, like I give more and more respect to musicians. Like I already had respect, but just more and more. Just because when you're up there, it's not just about being focused about one thing. There's so many things going on that you need to be on it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, like your performance, but like things like that, the time. Okay, is everybody doing good? Like, you know what I mean? Like what song are you on? It's just so many things all at once that you gotta be like locked into. So
Yeah. Heck yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So I got to ask. That's her horror story. Do you have a horror story?
Dude,
Because you go back further. You may
Yeah,
not
I
be
do go
with this
back a
band.
little further. Is it like it's a show, right? Like your question kind of.
Oh my God, I already know.
No, it could be because we had the last band I interviewed. Their van got stolen in the middle of the night on tour, or not their van, their trailer. They stole everything out of their van and then stole their trailer with like $30,000 worth of equipment in it.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah,
we had
that's
one
Oh,
band
pretty
that
horrible.
the I want to say the bass player tried to stab the singer on stage.
Oh,
Uh,
fun.
yeah, we've got all kinds of horror stories.
I think their heart was in a good place, but we had back then, like when I was in my first band, these people reached out and they were like fans of us and they were like, come play at our venue. Like we just opened up a venue, like it's gonna be really cool. And we were like, all right, let's do it. They were like, it's gonna be free food, blah blah blah. And we're like, all right, cool, let's do it. And they're like, don't worry about bringing your drums. They're gonna be all there for you, like. So our drummer was like, cool. And we show up and man, it was just the venue was rough. And it's like, as kids, we're just like, man, what is this? Like there was no stage. It was just the floor in front of like basically like tables, like it's a like just a restaurant or something. And there was like one kick drum, a snare, like one floor tom, and like one cymbal, and our drummer was like going through it. And we're staggered like in the restaurant almost like trying to play the show as serious as possible, and there's like two people there that like you think like they might like us, yeah, and then like just momentarily they would just turn around and then they would just turn back around, just go back to their cigarette or something, and then you just have to sit there and just own it, dude, like. But the owners were really nice, so like. That I feel like if it made their night, it was worth it, but
Yeah.
it definitely was very uncomfortable.
I thought you were gonna mention that battle, that thing that whenever you were with Brianna, that
Oh, that's a great
I
story.
thought you were gonna
Can I add
mention
another
that.
one? Can I
That
add
Yeah,
was,
go
another
ahead.
one?
that was the one I
Okay.
thought you were gonna.
Dude, oh, thank you for bringing that up because that totally triumphs this one. Okay, so, um, dude, you know what? I guess technically, this band is like my first.
Okay.
But now that I think about it, I haven't thought about it in so long. But anyway, I was in this band. It was called Descent. And the running joke was like, oh, y'all are decent. Because it was like Descent, decent, kind of the
Hmm.
same. I was like, whatever, dude. But no, so it was like a high school like talent show or battle of the bands thingy. And the winner was like gonna get like a free like recording session or something. And being 16, 17, I'm like, yo, man, like this is next level, you
Yeah.
know? And so we're sitting there playing like I think three songs, and we have one more to go. And right before we go to count off the last one, this teacher like just barges in, just starts yelling at the drummer, like, you need to be in tutoring right now. Like you got it, you shouldn't even be here right now. I talked to your parents, like you can't be here right now. You need to be in my room. This is in front of everybody.
I was there.
She was
I
there.
remember.
And
It was when I were like, yeah, we were just friends, and I was watching the band. It was like the most like insane thing I've ever witnessed.
I turned around, dude, and I'm like frozen. Like I'm in shock. I'm like, what is happening right now? And the drummer, like I kept like nodding to the drummer, like, dude, just count it off. Like we're gonna out like we're gonna be louder than her, like
Yeah.
just play. And he's just like looking at me, and then he's looking at her, he's looking at me, he's looking at her, and then he just throws his drumsticks down, and he's like, fuck this, and then he just leaves. And
It was so
just
bizarre.
silent. And then she stormed off or whatever. And then me and the other bandmates are just kind of like standing, like looking around, like, what do we do now? And then one kid came up and he was a drummer and he goes, yo, if y'all know Toxicity by, System of a Down, I can play that. And I was like, I know it. I'm like, let's do it. But then our singer wanted to do the song we were going to originally do. But he didn't know the drums to that one. So he sat it out and we played that song with no drums. It was just like, dude, like,
Yeah.
oh.
It was just so bad because they were just playing like usual, and you just see the teacher coming in and they just stop, and she just goes off just in front of the whole audience to this kid and the drums kick and all that. It was so crazy. I was in shock too because I'm like, that did not just happen. And he just left. Like
and-
we were just all like, all right.
And to tag
Cool.
on and to tag on two more things. It was like for some reason they had the event in the cafeteria. I'm like, dude, we have an auditorium. Why are we not there? But I also butchered a guitar solo from the song before. I like completely choked and fucked it up. But that was definitely, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because I definitely try to forget that moment.
It was so
And I've been
crazy.
doing a good job at it, apparently.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, that one's probably like the mega horror story so far.
That's crazy. I did a talent show and we just got our equipment. We got the power shut off like 2 seconds into a song.
I
But
would
we
have
were
much
trying to play.
rather had
We were
that.
trying to play the Misfits. So, uh,
Dang.
um, so you guys are in San Antonio, but
Uh-huh.
you're only six. What's the venue? What's the scene like for metal down there?
So in my experience, it's a lot of tribute bands here, and not my cup of Joe. Like for like, like when I met Josh, actually, we were gonna do a Slipknot tribute, but at the time I had just left my other project, and I just wanted to stay busy. And then a mutual friend of ours called me and was like, "Hey, like, I'm putting together a Slipknot tribute band. You down to like join up?" And I was like, "Fuck it, I got nothing going on, so let's do it." But there is a market in town, like a heavy market for tribute bands, and Josh even still plays in a few. And so aside from like that side, I think it's just really a lot of like metalcore slash hardcore bands here too.
Well, I think San Antonio is more on the old school kind of side. Like, I think there's more people doing like old school death metal, things
Mhm.
like, I mean, from what I've seen. We've been playing more in Austin rather than San Antonio.
Okay.
And Austin has, I think Austin has a lot going on. Like, Austin is for sure um hopping on that hardcore kind of slam metal
Like
a
deathcore.
trend. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's a lot of, and they're good bands too. Like a lot of punk hardcore bands going on right now in Austin. So yeah, but San Antonio, I think it's more on the old school stuff. There's, and like he said, tribute bands. It's not bad, it's all good. It's just the style that's kind of trending there. But I think Austin is definitely a lot more like on the modern side. And so I really like playing in Austin because the people, the audience is different, the vibe is
Oh
just
yeah.
different. So
Plus, we're playing with musicians that are kind of like on the same grind as we are, like
yeah.
our very first show, we opened up, our guitar player Josh played in two tribute bands. And so we opened up for his two tribute bands. So he played our show and then he played his two tribute band shows like back to back. So
Jeez.
props to Josh, dude. He's a fucking trooper.
Yeah.
But and they were all nice. All of them were like really cool and stuff. But when we've played in Austin or whatever, it's like, they're closer to our age and they're all just like striving to like, better each other, and it's just, I don't know. It's so much more fun.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun over there.
Well, Austin is known for having, it's got a good art scene, a good music scene, good movie scene. Um, I'm hopefully gonna. My goal is to get down there this month or next month, hopefully, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I want to go to the Alamo Draft House down there. So
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let us know because we got like, and there's just so much going on. But like,
yeah,
yeah, let us know if you do
I,
go.
I no matter what happens, I'm hoping to get down there this summer because I got family down in Texas, in Dallas, and in San Antonio, and I'm like, oh hell, I'll just make it go down, kind of do a big UE, and then
Hell
Visit,
come
yeah.
back
visit
up,
everything.
hit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yep, go down from Dallas, hit Austin, go over to San Antonio, and then go back up here to Ohio. So,
Hmm.
um, but okay, we always ask, what's your 5 year plan for your band?
Let's see. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it might sound like just straight up simple. I just want to be touring. Like,
Okay.
you know, through these past few years of just trying different things and trying to get a band going, it's just like I just want to be like touring and just like chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
So really we're just like, for me, like I just want to put the pieces together and try to do the right moves we can do to like get to that point. And then from there, like just we can grow more, obviously, that's great. So she might have a bit more thought into that.
5 years as a band. really as an artist, I at that point would have loved to already created something that I put everything into. I mean, not that I haven't yet. However, I think all this stuff has just been the beginning, and I would just really love to experience the whole making an actual album, but like
Mhm.
really just going hard on it, creating an album that I could sit down and say, I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? If I
Yeah,
did that, I could die today. You know what I mean? Kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So I would love to like just make a really good album by then, or just the best that I could do. I have done some kind of tour. And yeah, just at that point, just toured, album, and done also good music videos, because I want to, I just want to get better. You know what I mean? I just want to
Yeah.
make better things. So that's my thing, is that that I've at least grown in those 5 years. That at least everything that has been released was better than the last. So that's my hope in 5 years, that like I can look back and be like, all right, I did improve. You know, I did do something. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Her answer is so much more mature than mine.
We're just like, I just want tour. I don't know. I'm kidding.
Dude, yeah, man.
Uh, so we've noticed a lot that a lot of bands, younger bands, are now doing using social media and just doing releasing streaming. So you get like one song out, you continue to get one song out, and you get that one. Now you're doing something like that. You trying to head towards a larger project with a larger album. You doing EPs. How are you releasing your music?
So right now, it's definitely like right now what we have like pretty much like almost ready to go is our like next EP.
Okay.
Um, so when me and Ella put out the first one, it was like, hey, like first of all, it was like Army of Me, then it was our EP, and it was kind of like, this is kind of like our introduction to the world. And then from that, we released a few singles, and we have some songs where like everybody kind of collaborated on this newest EP. So it'd be the first EP with like kind of everybody's mind on it.
Okay.
Uh, so right now that's
Except Josh.
except Josh, sort of.
'Cause-
Yeah, because he does have input on one song, but it's like a small part, but
But that was because that he joined when we were already
yeah, it was already
done.
recorded,
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I guess to like push forward, it's like to like have something like an album like with everyone, like just start to finish with everybody. Now that we have the full lineup, I don't see anybody else joining to like, have tag on or anything, but like that really is kind of the plan. So is release this song, the one that we sent you, um, as like our music video, and then that's gonna like push the EP. And then from there, probably some singles.
Yeah.
That was one of the things we were talking about.
You guys, from what I've listened to and on Instagram and the song you sung, you guys have a very polished sound. It's till you guys told me you were in your 20s, I'd have been like, I figure you'd have to be about 10 years older than where you were to get your sound to where you're at, because it's it's a mature sound. It's you guys are putting in. It's not. I noticed a lot of younger bands. It's not as polished. It's more raw. It's just getting music out sometimes.
Mhm.
And yours is a finished product. It's done. It's not, I'm trying to explain this best without like putting anybody else down. But you guys, you're definitely doing a more mature, more finished product instead of, from what I've heard. So but
There's just a lot of work put into it. Sometimes I think that we overthink it, or at least I do.
Oh,
Like
I know I do.
I've overthought a lot of it. And it's just been, and I mean we've gone through some hiccups and all that stuff, which is why it's been a minute since the last EP and now this one. I mean, the plan was to release this like way sooner. But just so many things, you know, life just happens and things kind of got in the way. But, you know, our plan is to also get better, to add to that 5 years, you know, to just get better at releasing things, you
Right.
know, be more organized with that stuff. But we were, I mean, this was just the beginning, so I'm not gonna like be too hard on us, but just, you know, get better at planning that stuff because that's very important. You know, you want to be consistent. You know, you don't want to take too long because that's when like everything gets affected, even the art. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
want to take too long. You just want to don't think too much about it. So yeah.
See, that's another thing I've noticed. A lot of bands will just release a single here and there to keep people interested between, okay, we're working on this album. Okay, well, you know what? We did a cover. Why don't we do another cover in our style, and they'll put that out. But they want to keep people noticing they're always putting out product, that you're always keeping content is what, they call it now. You're always getting content out there. You're always getting music out there. People are always hearing a new song. Even like I said, even if it's a cover, people are hearing a new song. And, I think you guys are figuring that out and
Yeah.
getting it all taken care of.
It puts too
Um,
much pressure, I think. When just you saying that is just all I think about is pressure because I think, you know, times have changed. Music has definitely changed. There's a reason why music is very different from back then. Why we love the music, why we can't let go of the music from back then because
mhm.
people back then were just music. You know, musician was just a musician and now you got to do so many things, you know, and I mean, I guess that's okay. I guess, you know, you learn a lot more and you're more valuable, I guess, to other people, but um it just sucks because yeah, like I said, I just feel a lot more pressure to have to like put something out all the time. But I mean, I guess that's how times are now. But I'm not too worried about that because at the end of the day, like if your music is good and when you go up on stage you're good, people are gonna want to see you. So that's just what helps kind of make me not so stressed.
So I always ask, how does is your family backing you guys? You guys got the backing of your family and friends, I guess.
When you say backing, like what do you mean by that?
Like the support of your friends and family. Because I've had bands that are just like, oh yeah, my parents still are like, oh, when are you going to get a real job? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And some of them were like, we talked to one. She's like, oh yeah, my mom bought me a guitar. She's like, oh, you're playing music, good. We never played music before. Her no musical interest, but her mom was like all for it. Bought her a guitar, did her everything she did. So I was like, oh,
That's good.
yeah,
That's nice.
yeah,
I don't I mean, I don't how do I say this? It's not that they don't support me. It's just as parents, you know, parents worry about their
yeah.
kids. Any good parent, any loving parent is gonna worry about their kids. So I don't take it personally at all. Like if they're not like that excited, I know they're not the most excited with the fact that I'm doing this, and that's okay. Like I get it. I understand. Um, but I mean, friends, yeah. I mean, absolutely. We do have friends that support us. And yeah, I mean, they feel good for me whenever little things happen. They're like, oh, that's good. But they still worry at the end of the day. Like, they're still like, you don't want to like do this or that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my situation.
Mine, I'm fortunate that my family has like never like put me down for it, to like really. It's always been like, like go do it. Like I remember one time years ago, before I was even like in any kind of serious band. Maybe I was in like one of my first bands at the time, but my grandma like came over to our house and she was like, "Preston, you know what? I think you ought to just send Slipknot a way to like audition. Like I really think you should audition for Slipknot." And I'm like, "I love you, but that's not how it works." Like, and then she like quiets me down and she's really like, "Don't sell yourself short. Like, don't ever say that. And I'm like I know, like, like that was really sweet. And I love that my family, they back me. Like they always, they have like the moral support, to like push towards me. Financially, obviously, my parents have their own, they got my other siblings and stuff to worry about. But I'm fortunate on that end. And then my friends, I have like half friends, maybe not so much, and then a half of my friends are like, they're at our shows, So it's like I have a small circle of friends that I fucking love and that are at my shows, and it's just awesome. So yeah.
It's always cool to get support. Even I mean, even if I'm going to be 50, and to be honest, I didn't get really my family's real good support on what I did up until the last couple of years, because they're always like, "Oh, that's not going to work." I own a comic book and video game store. That's not going to last. It's the longest job I've ever had, and I'm still
Yeah.
kicking butt, and well, I live a decent life, and I'm also supportive of my kids because I got 4 boys, and my kids, they're like, my son for Christmas, he goes, Dad, I kind of want a Strat. I'm like, okay, tell me which one you want. And I have a friend who refurbishes guitars. I get a hold of him. I was like, my son wants a Strat, and he goes, well, I got this one, this one, this one. He goes, I want that one. He goes, what you need? He goes, well, pick guard. So my buddy like did the almost like the video game where they bring in all the guitars, then you pick the guard, and then
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
else. Like I do that. I bought my youngest son a electric drum kit back there because you never know. I
yeah.
mean, it's keeps them occupied, even if they never do another thing in their
Dude,
life with it. But it's nice to have that, that they have that chance in life, and I hope I support that. So,
dude, just
Yeah.
just to tag on that, like I remember at one point my dad, like we were all eating dinner at the table one time and he goes, honestly, Preston, he's like, I never thought you were gonna take it this serious. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I've been telling you this. But also at that time, he was always just like, just make sure you have a backup plan. And I just kind of like, yeah, all right, I got it. But like I don't know, it felt good when that
yeah,
when he said that because I'm like, yeah, I mean, like when I told you I wanted to play guitar, like I actually meant it. He would tell me all the time, like, every kid who wanted to pick up a guitar wants to be a rock star. And I'm
hmm,
like, fair, but a lot of those kids are stuck doing something else or
yep,
they dropped it. They don't want to do it anymore. But he still got me the guitar and I'm not saying I'm anywhere like done, but like where I'm at currently, I'm like, let's go, dude. Like I told you.
well, what's the saying? Every kid's an artist till they're told not to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why do that to your children? I've never did that to my kids. No, I have kids from older than you all the way down to 13.
Mhm.
And I've supported them on everything they've ever done. And, I'm also like,
That's the
do what,
best thing you could ever do.
yeah.
Is just
I'm like,
support. Because from my experience, from what I've gone through and going through, I always tell myself if I ever do have kids, that's the one thing I'm gonna make sure to do is like if it's something that they're passionate about, I'm definitely gonna support it because
Mhm.
it support from a family member is so different from somebody who's just like kind of like a friend. You know what I mean? From a family member, it's like, oh my gosh, you feel that love and you really do get that motivation and you feel like, okay, I can do this. But it's okay, some people don't grow up with that, but that's fine because it only makes you stronger. You got to believe in yourself because at the end of the day, you still have to trust that you can do
yeah,
things. So,
it's, now, do you guys have quote unquote day jobs?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We ain't there yet, but
ain't there yet.
that's partially the goals to get out of that eventually.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it takes a while before you can walk away from that day job, but when it is, it's so
Mhm.
nice to be able to walk away from that day job.
It's gonna
That's
happen.
part, I think that's a big part of the motivation too.
Mhm.
That's what helps keep you hungry as far as, striving for the next, thing. So,
So what if you mind if I ask, what's your day jobs?
I work at a grocery store.
Best Buy, let's go.
Best Buy. We work at a grocery. First job I ever had, working at a grocery store. Started out as what they don't even have anymore. I started out as a bag boy, and I left as a department manager. So
I was a manager at Whataburger for a while. So that was right before COVID hit.
so now you're at Best Buy, and they just got rid of all their physical CDs or
Yep.
getting rid of all their physical media. That's bullshit.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, as somebody who loves physical media, when I
Of
found that
course.
out, I was so depressed. I was like,
Yeah.
They're still collectibles, man. Like what the heck?
And the album art too, because like
oh,
you know how like back then they would like go very in depth with the CD and everything.
oh, look, it's so much cooler. And I don't know if I can grab something here real easy. Oh yeah, yeah.
Or like movie box sets, dude. Like
How having something this big was so much cooler than getting a little picture on your phone while you're listening to it on
Yeah.
exactly.
Pandora or something. So
Yeah.
so
But the good thing is that there's still people who appreciate it and who,
oh yeah.
you know,
So,
I'm still down to do like eventually like a really cool album cover with like cool art in it. I would love to do that.
big album that you gatefold with the big art in the middle.
dude,
Yes, yeah,
the
yeah.
first one that comes to mind is Tool's 10,000 Days. They came with like the 3D glasses.
Yeah,
and
the goggles
Yeah,
and
dude.
stuff. Yeah,
So insane, so dope.
Mhm.
it's I go way back, so I got like stupid stuff over here in vinyl. So that you open them up and they got like a pop up in the middle. I have I don't know if are you guys into horror movies at all? I see your Freddy shirt there.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Not like the modern, but I like more like the old school.
You know the movie The Gate?
No.
About the demons that live in the basement and they come up because of a hole. It's got a very 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 young Stephen Dwarf from that's in the first Blade movie. But he plays a little kid. But I have that on record, and it's got like the fake album cover from the movie, and then you open it up, and the big demon comes out, and you got all this cool
Wow,
shit. Yeah, and that's the
that's
vinyl.
cool.
See
That's cool.
that's the cool shit right there.
Hell yeah, you can't do that with an MP3.
Yup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So merch wise, what do you guys have available, or do you have anything merch wise?
We sure do. We're very much on our baby steps as far as like growing our merch empire, So like we have to start small and like kind of local, you know. So we have hats, we have some shirts.
Yeah, we have hats, shirts, beanies, and all that stuff that we sell at our shows. But when we release this upcoming single, which is very soon, it's gonna happen next month in April. With the music video, that's when we're gonna open up like an online thing so that our fans that aren't in Texas, they could like buy some of our merch. So we're gonna have like beanies, shirts, stickers, stuff like that, like the basic stuff. But yes, we are planning on opening that up very soon.
So I forgot to ask this early on. How did the name Mass of Amara come about?
So I was reading a book whenever I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be in a metal band. So I'm gonna do the metal band name, whatever. And so I was just like reading books and all that, just anything that would like kind of inspire me or whatever. And at that time I was kind of getting into spirituality a little bit. And um eventually I saw the name Amara and I was like, okay, Amara, that sounds kind of cool. And then I just thought of Mass of Amara and I was like, that sounds really cool. Mass, because I noticed that like you want to have that flow in a name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mass of Amara. So, and then Amara means like in Hindu, it means like eternal life or whatever, something like that, like eternal life. It's spiritual. And then mass, I put mass of, so saying kind of like celebrating that part of us that we contain that's eternal, because at the end of the day, this isn't it. This is once this is done, we're going to the real thing. You know what I mean? When we die, that's my belief. There's a much bigger thing waiting for us after we die. So that's just like what that meaning of the name is.
And props to her for talking me out of making it an album name, because I was like in the beginning like, nah, that should be an album. And then it kind of grew on me when she was like, no, I think should be the name. And I was like, okay, yeah, it does make more sense. And it's so dope.
Oh yeah. So it's one of the ones where I joke around because I'm always coming up with really kind of unique band names, even though I don't have a band anymore.
Mhm.
And and when you can find something that's cool, that's I mean that reads well. Mass of Amara, that's very it sticks. It's something you get in your brain and it holds there. Some of these bands you're just like, what was that called? I don't remember now,
Dude, no, I know an example, and I don't know how to say their name, but they're like going hard in the hardcore scene. I think it's like Sanswizgabog or something. Dude, I have no idea how to say their name, but they're fucking sick. But I think it's funny. And I know they're kind of like known to be kind of trolls too, so like they'll just like fuck around on social media. But like I would say like our small downside, and it's funny, it's just like whenever we like tell people the band name in person, you kind of have to like say it slowly.
You have to say it very slowly. So just any like if some new person was like, wait, what's the name of your band? I'll be like Mass of Amara. Because they always think it's Massive Amara. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, Mass of Amara. So you have to say it slow at first.
Or you be Mass of Amara, and you can be Massive Tomorrow would be the name of your
Yeah.
it's a Massive Amara has an album Massive what?
Yeah.
Slightly
Yeah.
versions the same thing. So I always ask this too. But you guys are pretty new, but so you're going to be really on the ball for this. What advice do you have for bands starting out or people
Patience.
getting into music right now?
Patience. Just you have to live today. What can you do today that you couldn't do tomorrow? What is it that you can do today that you didn't do tomorrow? Just do it today. That's my best advice because when I was starting out, I was like, all right, if I'm gonna really take this seriously, I have to let go of a race. I have to let go of the fact that, oh, I want to be this by this time. You got to let that go because that is going to affect you. It's going to go even slower. You know what I mean? Don't chase anything.
And you're gonna have negative feelings towards people or like your friends that
Yeah.
are that are on the next level than you, and it's just not healthy. Like I can remember like in my very first band, we would be the first band to play and we'd be the first band out of there, like, yeah, man, we did it, high fives all around, until years later you learn like, no, dude, like to be a bro and like to just like really get the connections and the dope people to support you, you hang out, you talk with people, you don't just dip after the first show. I never knew that at that time.
Yeah.
But another, I'd say, a piece of advice for me is like learn as much as you can in different areas because all of it ties into each other and you can apply everything you learn to the band. So like with my experience, like when I was starting, I was like, I'm gonna be a guitar player and that's it. Like I just want to play guitar, blah blah, whatever. But then like things would happen where I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll do that. Like we had a video guy, like he like dipped on us or like vanished and we never knew. We had a video planned and a day to shoot and he just like vanished. We couldn't get a hold of him. He was fine, but like he just vanished. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. She had a camera. And so I used the camera. I learned about like just simple, like how to make the camera look good. And then I did the video ourselves. Is it great? Debatable, but I was proud of it and it looked kind of cool and it looked good, I thought. But like all of that knowledge still helps out even with working with video guys. You can relate to them and ask them like, hey, with this part, can you do this because of that, whatever. But really like just kind of being a jack of all trades, I think is very helpful too. Yeah.
Yeah, me, patience and don't complain. Don't complain.
Well, you talk about leaving the venues early. Almost every band I've talked to, it's funny because I've talked to bands that have been around forever and bands that are relatively new. And you're right, you got to be stick around, hang out with the people in the audience, make sure that you're friendly, that you don't become like people like, oh, he's already they're gone. I wanted to talk to the band and they're gone. I've done that to many a show, man. I was like, I really like that opening band, and they're already gone. They're taking off out of the parking lot before the second band even takes the stage. And I kind of get it, because you just want to move on. You get to your room, you can crash.
Right.
But if you want people to know who you are and to make fans that will be there for life, you interact. You get
Yep.
in there, you hang out, you bullshit. Um, I like the band Health, and I just talked to Johnny from Health, and he was telling me, because we always try to make sure we're at our merch booth for at least some time during the show. We hang out, we sign whatever people autographs till we can't. And they're like, yeah, if it takes us a little while, it takes us a little while. So
I mean, it's part of the job too.
yeah,
Like
So,
at
yeah,
the end of
for
the
sure.
day, it's like that's what you want. I mean, don't you want to talk to people? Music is a way to communicate to other people, to bring people together. So I mean,
100%.
that's just something that's part of the job.
Yeah, you can't just show up, play, and be like, all right, that was my 2 cents. I'm out. Catch
Oh
us
yeah,
on Spotify, blah, blah, whatever. They're like, you don't even have banners on the stage, dude. I don't even know what your name is,
Yeah.
but y'all are dope. Like,
oh yeah.
so just stuff like that I've learned over the years is just like, I spent a lot of time like talking with bands because I used to work at a studio. And so all these bands that would roll in, that was like perfect time to ask them questions, like how it all works and just like what they do and stuff. And it's just stuff like that. Um,
That's
but
pretty incredible, because you got under the learning tree in there and were able to. That's amazing. So most people will never get that in their lifetime, unless they're touring and then hanging out with bigger bands or whatever. But you were able to do it before.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
So the name of the studio is Machine Shop Studios. He deserves every bit of recognition because I learned so much from him. And I even got to work with some of my favorite bands. That was
Nice.
fucking awesome. But yeah, dude. So like just being able to like kind of be a fly on the wall with some of these bands that are like doing it, like doing what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It allowed me to learn what they're doing, the do's and don'ts. And when I come back to reality, back home, I see bands doing the stuff that are the do's and don'ts. And I'm like, red flag there, you know learn what not to do and stuff like that. But, as long as you're just a really cool fucking person, I think that helps out too. Just not being like a crazy spastic dude on the internet, just shit posting all the time, because it's like, I don't want to be around that.
Yeah. That just makes, that doesn't make the other band look bad. That just makes you look bad when you shit
Right.
post. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people can't wrap their heads around that, which they should.
Mhm.
So thank you guys. Do you guys have any upcoming events you'd like to talk about?
Um,
Yes. Let me pull up our calendar real quick.
well, the one that we have upcoming is on the 31st of this month, March 31st, Easter Day. We will be doing a Battle of the Bands with other Austin bands, to be able to play at the Big Texas Metal Fest. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for that. And then we have two shows in April, 420, one on 420, and then one on the 13th in Dallas actually. That's gonna be our first show outside of San Antonio and Austin because we've been playing just there mostly.
Okay.
And we're gonna play our first show in Dallas, so that's gonna be super exciting because I want to see how Dallas is, and we're gonna be playing with other big bands and that are kind of popping off there in Dallas. So I'm excited for that one.
By the way, the reason why we have that gig is because we stayed late and talked to our now homie, shout out Skylar.
Oh yeah. Skylar, yeah,
He's the man.
he's been helping us out a lot. So yeah.
That was
It all
awesome.
goes hand in hand, dude, for real.
Yep. Yeah. It's all about networking. All about networking. And where can people find you online at?
Our Instagram for sure, just Mass of Amara official. Facebook
_official.
_official. Facebook should be just Mass of Amara official, and then our YouTube. We're the only YouTube channel Mass of Amara, so it shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
But those are the only three main places right now.
That we're like kind of
Oh, and Spotify. Of
and
course.
that we're active on social media is going to be Instagram and Facebook. I mean, that's where we're posting shows, all that stuff. And then music, we're on all the popular ones, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, whatever. If Pandora is still something that
be.
people use.
I think it puts us on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're on all of that. So
Cool. Before I get too far towards the end, I always ask the band if it's all right if we can use one of your songs as the outro for this episode.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
sure.
Because I never want somebody to go, yeah, and then do it afterwards, and then they're like, oh, I never said you could use that song, and I'm like, no, you said you could. I got you on film, man. I cover my ass. I'm not going down and letting you go. Oh yeah, no, I never told him he could use that. It's documented. It's right here. Uh, but you guys are kicking ass. You're putting out good music. You know, you're like I said, that song, without paying attention, had me bobbing my head right with it while I'm sitting there working on the computer. And I think that's always the note of a good song, is when it catches me off guard and I don't realize I'm getting into it when I'm getting into
Right.
it. Because, you know, sometimes you're like, listen to the song, you're like, yeah, okay. This one, I'm just doing it and I'm like, hey, that's a good song. That's a good song.
Oh yeah, dude.
And that's
good
coming
to
from an
hear.
old man, and I love my metal, and I appreciate you guys getting out there and busting your ass and playing music, playing metal,
Mhm.
and you guys were saying that you're in your 20s, and that's incredible that you guys are out there doing, you know, metal that most people would consider, you know, an older, you know, not
Yeah.
for younger people, and it's still young.
Oh,
oh
100%.
yeah, yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
shit. My 13-year-old loves it. And he sits over there and plays drums all the time to it. And
Yeah.
but yes, thank you so very much. I appreciate your time. You guys are awesome. I'm going to work on this. I got to get a hold of Hawk because we might move this around. This might be a Monday show on my channel, and then we might edit it to put it on the TalkNRoll channel. So it'll be on. It's going to at least be on one of the channels, probably both of them, but not both of them early. Does that make sense?
Got you.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
no, thank you for having us. Thank
yeah.
you for doing
I,
so
I
much.
I am really reaching out to a lot of, like I said, I go on, I get bored, I go on Instagram and I just listen for music that catches my ear. And you guys caught my ear.
Which song
And
was it?
it is, oh man, I'm gonna put on my glasses so I can actually,
Me too, man.
because I'm old. No, I fought it and fought it and fought it till my wife goes, "You need glasses, right? Because you can't read." Yeah, yep.
Mhm.
Okay, it was. Was this one? Here we go. Oh, it's your clip of Army of Me.
Nice. Hell yeah.
That one.
Oh, cool. It was the live
Oh,
version.
okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I had to go back. And
That's good when you can make them go back.
yeah, you if I scroll past it, you're screwed. But if I get, oh, wait a minute, there you are. Oh no, get it back,
Yeah.
get it back. Yeah, and because I my wife gave me shit because I was all about really hard metal. And
Mhm.
I grew up with thrash and hair bands and 80s pop and all that stuff and synthwave. And then one day she goes, "You still like all that stuff? Why are you acting like you don't?" I went, "Yeah, that's true." So, so now my one buddy tells me, he goes, my music tastes are schizophrenic because I'll listen.
Dude, it changes
What's
all the
that?
time. Sometimes dude, I haven't, I mean, I'm still a metalhead at heart.
Oh
But
yeah, me
like
too.
lately I've been listening to like rap. Like rap and like pop stuff, you know,
Yeah.
some little EDM, lots of EDM and rap. And like it's just what you're feeling, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And so
I'm still kind of a tougher nut to crack. Like, sometimes it's still got to be like kind of hard, like heavy or something.
Yep.
But I'd say like the softest I've gone recently is like Scott Stapp, dude. I don't know. His new fucking album he just dropped, like I pulled it up and I was like, this is gonna be interesting. And then he starts off with like this crazy heavy ass riff. I'm like, bro, what?
Well,
And I was like, all right, you got me,
yep.
I was just like, you got me. But yeah, so
It's mine is that if you don't listen to other if you don't listen to other music and you kind of can get into a rut Because if
Yep.
you're not willing to push your boundaries, even if, like I joke around, I was listening the other day and I was listening to Pulp Fiction soundtrack, Iron Maiden, probably Seventh Son, and then some synthwave album, and that was all within doom, 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 doom. And my one buddy goes, "Wow, that's a crazy mix of stuff." I'm like, "I know, I don't care. It's what I
I do
listen."
do
Yeah.
that too sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I definitely am on the soundtrack stuff, dude. Whether it's Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean, like, dude, that type of stuff, man, I
Oh.
can just. And then like right after that, I'll be all like, Freak on a Leash by Korn, and then it'll just go straight to like some hardcore deathcore or something.
Nice.
But it's fun.
All right. Well, I like I said before we keep talking again because I can't do this all day.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I am horrible at that. My wife yells at me. She goes, "I thought we were supposed to leave 15 minutes ago." Well, I'm still talking. But you guys are awesome. You guys are kicking ass out there. You're playing good music, and you guys seem to be having fun and enjoying what you do. And keep doing it. Keep
Oh yeah.
loving what you do. Keep doing what you love. And when you get ready to do something else, give me a buzz, and we'll get you back on the show and talk some more. So,
Hell yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
So excited.
Thank you
Cool.
for having us.
You're
Like,
welcome.
fun.
And for your time too. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is our first interview ever. So
Shit.
this is iconic, right?
Oh,
I
shit.
think that's how you can
So
use that.
so when you guys are famous and rich and everything, you can go. So this guy right here got us on the show first, and
Yes, exactly.
The guy with the sick lightsabers. I see them in the background there, dude.
Yeah.
I got one.
I got what
Is that
it?
Ahsoka's?
No, I got Ventress.
Oh, dude, that's fucking sick, man.
I got that, and my other one I got is a. The worst part about it is the other ones you can't see because they're way back there. I have like Darth Revan, Darth Vader, Anakin, Luke, and then I got a High Republic lightsaber. That one's yellow.
That is the nerd in me is going crazy. I only have Vader's, but every time we go to Disney, I'm like, I want Luke's. I want the dark saber.
Oh, wait a minute! I got dark saber.
Oh
dude,
my God.
Dude, we sell those at Best Buy, bro.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Most people don't get this, so we'll go ahead and give you a second here.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
There's some of them.
That's awesome.
I like I said, I own a comic book store because there's just comic books stacked everywhere. But yeah, that's some I have a full set of Shadow Trooper armor.
Oh man.
And I have Sith robes. And I want to go to Disney so bad, but they won't let you wear a costume.
Oh,
and
I know.
That's like fine, I'll go to the Universal one and go dress up and hang out with because I'm not gonna lie, I have a Spider-Man costume too. So
dude, if you ever do a Star Wars themed podcast, I got you, dude.
Hell yeah. That's what I need to do is just get everybody that I've ever just talk about Star Wars forever. Like an 8-hour episode of the show where you just talk Star Wars forever.
So, I'm in, dude.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. You guys are awesome. Stay cool, and can't wait to have you guys back again. And hell,
absolutely.
If you want to talk Star Wars, sometimes I can get you on the show, my other show.
Let's go.
The geeky one, and we can talk comic books and toys and video games and Star Wars and all that fun stuff. So, all right.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
I will let you guys go so you can get back to doing what you're doing. I got to go and I got to be on somebody else's show in a minute. So.
Cool.
All good, bro.
Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. Take care, guys. See
you
you,
too, bro.
Bye.
Yeah. Still